I want you to close your eyes and imagine the feeling of checking into an old, empty hotel late at night. The silence of the long corridors wrapping around you like a shroud. Tonight, I'll whisper a story that might follow you into your dreams. The story of a traveler who found a room that wasn't on any map and a door that opened into his own personal hell. Dark tales whispered at night. Liam was a man running on fumes and regret, driving through a rain-slicked night with no destination. A sales conference he had dreaded, a life he felt trapped in. It all blurred into the hypnotic rhythm of the windshield wipers. It was after 2 a.m. when the glowing red neon sign of the Hotel Corvus materialized through the downpour like a ghostly beacon. It was a grand, Gothic structure, a relic from another era, promising shelter. He just needed a bed for the night. The lobby was cavernous and silent, decorated in faded velvet and dark, imposing wood. The air smelled of dust, old paper, and something faintly sweet, like wilting flowers. The man at the front desk had a smile that was too wide, too practiced. "Just one night?" he asked, his voice smooth as oil. "Of course, we have the perfect room for you. Room 404. He handed Liam a heavy, ornate brass key. "End of the hall, to the left." The journey to the room was a disorienting maze. The corridors of the Hotel Corvus didn't seem to follow any logical geometry. They twisted and turned, carpets shifting in pattern under his feet. He passed portraits of stern-faced individuals whose eyes seemed to follow him. He felt an unearning sense of being watched, not by ghosts, but by the building itself. Finally, at the end of a long, narrow hallway, he found it, room 404. The room was normal, dated, with heavy floral curtains and a faint scent of lavender, but clean. Liam dropped his bag, the exhaustion hitting him like a physical blow. He barely registered the room's details before collapsing into bed. Sleep came instantly, but it was not restful. He dreamed of rain, of the screech of tires on wet asphalt, and of a woman's voice calling his name, a voice he had tried for 2 years to forget. He awoke abruptly, his heart pounding. The room was silent, bathed in the gray light of dawn. The dream felt intensely real, a memory replayed with perfect clarity. Shaken, he got ready and left, the journey back to the lobby feeling strangely direct. The labyrinthine corridors of the night before, now just a straight, simple hallway. He dismissed it as a trick of his tired mind, a side effect of the unsettling dream. After another long day on the road, Liam found himself inexplicably drawn back to the Hotel Corvus. He told himself it was just easier than finding a new place. The same clerk was at the desk, his smile unchanged, as if he had been sculpted from wax. "Staying with us again, Mr. Hayes? Excellent. Room 404 is waiting for you." Liam took the key and headed to the elevator. But when he arrived on the 4th floor Everything was wrong. The corridor that had been on his left was now on his right. The carpet pattern was a deep crimson, not the faded green he remembered. He walked down the hall, his sense of unease growing. He found the door marked 404, but it was in the middle of the hallway, not at the end. He hesitated, then inserted the key. It turned. The room's layout was identical, yet it was a distorted reflection. The bed was the same, but the painting above it was a bleak seascape, not the portrait of a woman he vaguely recalled. He walked to the window. The view was not of the hotel's quiet side street, but of a bustling, unfamiliar city square he had never seen before. Panic began to bubble in his chest. He backed out of the room, looking at the number on the door, 404. He ran to the end of the hall where the room should have been. There was nothing but a solid, unbroken wall, adorned with another unsettling portrait. He returned to the new room 404, his mind racing. Was this a prank? A different wing of the hotel? He turned on the small radio on the nightstand to fill the oppressive silence. It crackled to life, playing a soft, melancholic piano tune. The same song that had been playing on the car radio 2 years ago. The song he and Sarah had been listening to right before the crash. A cold dread washed over him. He frantically changed the station, but every frequency played the same haunting melody. He shut it off, but the tune lingered in the air, a faint, phantom echo. The room began to change further. The generic lavender scent was replaced by the smell of Sarah's perfume. He saw a book on the nightstand, one he hadn't unpacked, her favorite book of poetry, open to a page she had marked. He was no longer in a random hotel room. He was in a prison constructed from his own grief. The room wasn't just haunted. It was personal. It knew him. It knew what he had done. He stumbled towards the door, his only thought to escape, to run back out into the rain, anywhere but here. Before he could flee, his professional curiosity, the last vestige of his old self, took over. He pulled out his laptop, his hands trembling. He searched for Hotel Corvus, Strange Occurrences, Moving Rooms, Hotel Corvus. The first few pages were nothing but pristine 5-star reviews, all eerily similar in their generic praise. A timeless classic, one said. You'll never want to leave, said another. He dug deeper, into archived forums and deleted travel blogs, and then he found it. A single corrupted post from a user named Wanderer73. Most of the text was gone, but a few phrases remained. Room wasn't there. It knows what you love. Showed me my dog. The one I lost as a kid. The hotel isn't haunted. It's hungry. The word sent a shiver down his spine. Hungry. It wasn't a place for ghosts to rest. It was a place that consumed memories, trapping guests in personalized exhibits of their deepest sorrows. The hotel was a predator, and he was its newest acquisition. The perfect room wasn't a kindness. It was a cage, baited with his own past. Panic finally won. He grabbed his bag and lunged for the door, fumbling with the heavy brass lock. He threw it open, expecting the crimson-carpeted hallway. He was staring into the night, not the hotel corridor, but the driver's seat of his own car. Rain lashed against the windshield. The haunting piano melody was playing on the radio. Beside him, in the passenger seat, Sarah was turning towards him, her mouth opening to speak. He was seeing the last moment before the crash, the moment he could have changed, the moment that had haunted him for 2 years. He was outside the memory, looking in. "We're so glad you've decided to extend your stay, Mr. Hayes." The front desk clerk's voice, impossibly smooth, echoed not from the hallway, but from the car radio. "The room is now fully prepared for you." Before he could scream, the hotel room door slammed shut behind him with the force of a thunderclap. He turned back, but there was no door, only the interior of his car, the memory playing out on an endless loop, the screech of tires just moments away. He wasn't in room 404 anymore. Room 404 was now inside of him. No one ever saw Liam Hayes again. Perhaps another traveler, weary and running from their own past, will one day check into the Hotel Corvus. Perhaps they'll be given a key to room 404, and when they enter, they might find a room that is clean, quiet, and dated. And if they listen very, very closely in the dead of night, they might hear the faint sound of a man's desperate, whispered apology and the screech of tires on a rainy night that never ends. The hotel is always hungry for a new story. If you've ever stayed in a place that felt wrong, a room that made the hairs on your arms stand up for no reason, or heard a whisper when you were alone, share your story below. And remember, sometimes the room you check into never lets you check out. If these whispers reached you tonight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Until the next chill, good night, sweet dreams where the whispers wait.